Hi guys, I hope that you are well. Today I'm going to explain a new topic which is excretion. Firstly, what is the meaning of excretion? Excretion means firstly excretion from the characteristics of living organisms. In this process, the bodies of the living organisms starts to get rid of the different substances. These substances may be toxic substances or toxic materials, may be waste products, and these waste products produce inside the body as a result of the life functions or vital activities inside the body, which called metabolic reactions, and some excess requirement materials inside the body like excess salts or excess water. These waste products, for example, a process like respiration, after the occurrence of this process, which is respiration, waste product produce like CO2. This product, CO2, must be get rid outside the body through the two lungs. So let's mention some examples about the waste product. Waste products like CO2, and this one resulting from the respiration process and will be get rid of it or exerted through or by the two lungs through exhalation process. Maybe urine, and this one we will talk about this urine in details, its excretion, its formation, and so on. And this one, the urine excreted by the kidney. And sweat. This sweat contains what? Or formed from what? Sweat formed from salts and water and exerted through the skin outside the body. Let's talk about the structure of the urinary system. The urinary system composed of two kidneys, left kidney, right kidney. From each one of them emerge a ureter, so we have two ureters, and these two ureters poured inside a bladder called urinary bladder. In this urinary bladder, the storage of the urine takes place until the body gets rid of it. And we have the last part or the last point of this. At the end of the urinary bladder, there is a path called urethra. This urethra or this path carries urine out of the body. The function of the two kidneys is excretion or formation of urine, excretion and formation of urine, and osmoregulation, which means keep the amount of the body constant. Keep the amount of water constant inside your body. Let's talk about the blood vessels which connected to the urinary system. We have the firstly the renal artery. The renal artery comes from the heart to the kidneys. We know that heart pumping the blood through the major artery, which is aorta, and this aorta delivered the blood to all body parts. This aorta branched in different branches. From these branches, the renal artery, which means the branch of the aorta, get inside the two kidneys. So what are the materials carried by renal artery to the kidney? This renal artery, or through renal artery, there is the blood entering to it contains oxygen and glucose, and these two for getting energy, and urea to be mixed with excess salts and excess water for making urine. Again, the blood entering to the two kidneys contains oxygen and the glucose, and these two will takes place through the process of cellular respiration for obtaining energy. The other components like urea, excess salts, excess water, and these materials will mixing together to form the urine. After ending of the formation or the function of the kidney, the materials will be get rid or comes out the kidney through renal vein. Okay, this renal vein will carry what? Will carry the remaining glucose, will carry remaining water, remaining salts, and the carbon dioxide which produced as a result of this cellular respiration, or as a result of the forming or releasing energy. So don't forget this one. All of these materials entering through the renal vein to the kidney, but this one comes from what? Or comes from where? The CO2 produced from the cellular respiration by the breaking down of the glucose in the presence of oxygen to release the energy. And then the renal vein connected to the vena cava to pour the blood to the right atrium to be filtered during the blood circulation, and so on. Next point. The urea formation. Urea is formed by the breaking down of the excess amino acids inside the liver, but we have two ways after the breaking down. The breaking down of excess amino acids inside the liver have two ways. Part from this converted into glycogen to be stored inside the liver as a source of energy, carbohydrates. Other part making nitrogenous wastes. This nitrogenous wastes containing part turned to urea. So after this deamination, as we said, the glycogen is stored in the liver, and the urea will carried away from the liver through the hepatic vein and will join the blood circulation to reach to the two kidneys to be exerted as urine. So let's talk about the liver. As you can see, this one or this figure show to you the liver, and this liver and the blood capillaries which connected the liver with the small intestine. and the connection of the liver with the heart. As we said before, for the two kidneys, about the renal artery, liver have artery from heart branch from the aorta called hepatic artery. This hepatic artery carried oxygenated blood to the liver to perform its own function. Pay attention, just oxygen. So for the liver to perform cellular respiration or for releasing energy, beside this oxygen, liver needed glucose. So pay attention to know from where the liver obtain glucose for releasing energy. The connection between liver and the small intestine through hepatic portal vein, materials delivered from the small intestine to inside the liver through hepatic portal vein. So through hepatic portal vein, the blood will leave the small intestine going to the liver, carried glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals. And then through the hepatic portal vein, the glucose enter to the two lungs. So through hepatic artery, liver obtain oxygen. Through hepatic portal vein, liver obtain glucose. So start to releasing energy by the breaking down of the glucose by the presence of oxygen. And CO2 will be produced as waste product. It's clear? So after this, the function, which means the function of liver, the other materials or the blood delivered through hepatic vein to the heart to be filtered through blood circulation. This hepatic vein carry blood contains what? Contains the glucose, the amino acids, vitamins, minerals, all of this excess glucose, excess amino acids, excess vitamins, minerals, and CO2, which are produced from the breaking down of the glucose by oxygen for releasing energy. The last point about the liver, this point explains the glucose level or the glucose concentration. Inside the liver, start of the regulation of the glucose level inside the blood. And we know that the glucose comes to the liver from the small intestine. What about high glucose? In case of high level of glucose or high concentration of glucose, pancreas start to secrete hormone called insulin. This insulin do what? Converted the excess glucose or the high amount of glucose to glycogen to be stored again in liver. So what about low level of glucose, low concentration of glucose? So pancreas start to secrete another hormone called glucagon. This hormone do what? Start to break down glycogen, which is stored inside the liver, to be glucose, to increase the low glucose concentration inside the liver, inside the blood, sorry. It's clear? Okay. Next, about urea excretion. The urea excretion comes or occurs through three processes. Start with filtration, start with filtration, then reabsorption and excretion of this urea or urine. Firstly, filtration. And all of this urea excretion occurs inside the kidney, two kidneys. Firstly, about the renal artery. Renal artery comes from the aorta, from the heart, carrying different materials to the kidney. This blood contains glucose, urea, salts, oxygen. They will enter to the two kidneys, and this filtration process occurs through nephrons inside each kidney. Each kidney contains about 900 to 1 million tubes of nephron. So the filtration process occurs in nephrons side kidneys. After the formation and mixing the excess salt, excess water, and the urea for the forming urine, the products as urine delivered to ureter, and through ureter start the path of the urine to the urinary bladder to store until get rid of it through urethra. This process called excretion. So what about the materials which not used by the kidney function? These materials will returning back again. They will be returning back again through renal vein. It includes what? After any metabolic process, as we say, production of carbon dioxide, and some glucose and some salt, some water, which not used by the function of the two kidneys. They will comes back again through renal vein to the inferior vena cava to pour it inside right at atrium to be filtration of the blood through the blood circulation. Finally, the function of two kidneys. Firstly, the function of the two kidneys, excretion of urine, and we explained it. Other function is osmoregulation of water, which means keep the amount of water constant in your body. So we have two cases. First case, during hot weather, summer, or perform or hard exercising. In hard exercising or hot weather, your body start to increase the rate of respiration. So respiring at higher rate, so the body produce high amount of heat energy, so the body gets warm. So the body start to secrete sweating to cool down your body temperature. So in this time, more water will be lost. So the kidney do what? Kidney will produce small volumes of concentrated urine. Small volumes of concentrated urine. This small volume of concentrated urine will keep the amount of water in the blood constant and will reduce the losing of water. But in case of drinking more or too much amount of water or during cold weather, so what will happen? During cold weather, the body less sweating, so less water lose, but you take more amount of water, much amount of water. So the kidney do what? In this case, the kidney will produce larger volumes of diluted urine to help what? To help getting rid of the excess water. Okay, guys, I hope it helps you. Thank you. Goodbye.